Hey everyone, Mike Burke here with InsideRealEstatePhotography.com, and in this video we're going to do a little experiment to see if shooting one single raw photo is sufficient enough for real estate photography. So while I was out shooting the other day, I was thinking to myself, this might be something that a lot of people are interested in and a good topic for a video. Could you pull enough data from one single raw photo to make a nicely exposed interior real estate photography image, as opposed to doing brackets or multiple exposures? Theoretically, of course, you could speed up your workflow by only having to shoot one frame instead of multiple, but is there enough data there? Let's jump into Lightroom and find out. All right guys, so the image you see on your screen here is a finished edited image. It's an HDR image. It was 5 brackets, 2 stops apart, shot with my A7S III. I hand blended this in Photoshop and then finished it off here in Lightroom. So this is done. We're gonna use this as a comparison and see if we can get that single raw frame to look anywhere near as good as this looks. All right guys, so here's the raw photo. This was shot at basically 0 on the meter in the camera. So it's what the camera believed to be the most even exposure. Obviously we got bright light coming in from outside here. It's very dark here around the floor area and under the table. And we got the light fixture here giving off light. So let's see what we can do with this and see if we can get it to look anywhere near what this looks like all said and done. The most obvious approach to this would be just to edit this raw photo inside of Lightroom here and just, pull up the shadows a lot and, bring down the highlights. Obviously with raw photos, you have a lot of flexibility here and, you're able to push it pretty far. If we look at a compare view here, you're getting some noise going on here, obviously, because we're pushing up the shadows so much as compared to this. This is just, looks a lot cleaner. So noise is definitely gonna be a problem with doing this approach. If you were ever to even try this approach, I don't know, we'll see if it's even viable, but there is limitations, of course. A lot of data with a raw file, but there are limitations. I don't think this approach is the best. Even if we, masked in this window, we make another frame here, masking this window, and try to get it to look like this and do some color correcting. It still looks pretty muddy in these shadow areas. So what I think the best approach to do maybe is create brackets off of the one image artificially, sort of. So I'm going to reset this raw photo here just to where it was originally. And let's create brackets off of this artificially. So I'm gonna command apostrophe here and create a few copies. I think I ended up using 4 of the brackets on this photo. I threw one of them out. So I don't always use all 5 brackets if it's not necessary. Usually it's not. I'm hand blending these together. So this is our, 0 exposure. So let's create a bracket theoretically here by pushing the exposure up 2 stops. So these would be 2 stop apart brackets. And this one, I'll do 4 stops. So it'll be 2 stops above that. As you see, even with this, it's still really dark under the table here and around the floor area. So we'll definitely need to brighten some of that up. This final one copy here, I want to bring this -2. And I'm just paying attention to the window here. It doesn't have to be exactly 2. Let's just, adjust it. So we like the exposure out the window because we'll use this for masking in our window. So really, yeah, theoretically what I'm creating here, editing wise, is basically the same approach as editing a HDR image with bracketed photos, but your time on site would be much faster. If you're only shooting off one single frame for each photo, you'd be zipping in and out of a house in no time. But let's see if we can get a decent looking image out of this. So now what I'm gonna do with these multiple exposures here that I created is just select all of them, and I'm gonna go to Control click and edit in open as layers in Photoshop. So I'm gonna take you through this process quickly, hand blending these frames together inside of Photoshop. I'm not gonna get super detailed because I did make a detailed video on that process called high-end HDR real estate photo editing, and I'll link to that up on the screen right now. And I'm also gonna be using Photoshop actions and some Lightroom presets that I've created in this video. They are for sale on my website for only 10 bucks. So you can get them there if you're interested in that. I'll link to it down in the description below. And I also made a video on using Photoshop actions, and I'll also link to that video up on the screen right now as well. All right, so now as you can see here, we have all these images loaded up as layers inside of Photoshop. Let's start blending these together now and see if we can get something comparable to that original HDR image that I showed you inside of Lightroom. I'm gonna start by taking this brighter layer up here, and I'm gonna go to my actions here that I created, and I'm going to go to initial blend. This is an action I have. It's going to create a mask and do a sort of opacity layer on the mask to do an initial blend here of the two together. So first I'm going to take my brush tool B, and I want to make sure my flow is at like 5%. I want to take my hardness all the way down. I want a nice big brush here. So I'm just going to increase my brush size. And with white as my foreground color, I'm just going to kind of start going over some of this, brightening up some of these areas. It's not doing much to the floor because this bracket doesn't really contain much information there, as far as brighter than the other one, I mean. But let's brighten up some of this wall area. And that's why we created that other third bracket that's even brighter. So now I'm just gonna merge this down by hitting Command E. So now we have this brighter layer here. I'm gonna bring that up to the top. I'm gonna go to my action, add black layer mask, and I'm just gonna hit play on that. So that will add a mask and hide that layer. So again, with my brush and my white as my foreground color, I can continue painting in some of this area here that's way too dark. And that's looking pretty good. So now we can see all the detail under here. It's not just shadow and you can't see anything. We brought out some of that detail and raised that up a little bit here. So, all right, so now again, I want to merge this layer down. Instead of using the key command, I do have an action for that as well. If you select merge layers and hit play, that'll merge these two together. All right, so now that we have that, I'm going to go to my action, duplicate, desaturate curves. This action does multiple things, and what it does is really desaturate the layer, so I can deal with any color correction issues here, like with the light here, it's casting a lot of orange tones around the room, and we want to subdue that orange, especially on the white ceiling and any white areas, because it makes them look a little dingy and dirty, and we want to make them look nice, white, clean. So that's what this action is for. So I'm just going to hit play on this action, and you can't really see what it did because it hides it, but if I disable the layer mask here, you can see it's just a very desaturated image, but the white areas look white, so that's what we're going to be using it for mainly. The only thing I want to do is I want to subdue some of this orange glow on the wall here. It's very orange over here. So again, with my brush and my white, I'm going to make sure I have my mask selected with my 5% flow. I'm just going to kind of just go over this a little bit, desaturate over here just a tad, maybe a little bit here, just to subdue some of this orange that's coming off from this chandelier here. That's good, very minimal. Disable this layer, you can see it just desaturated that orange tone a little bit. All right, now, so with the mask selected here, I want to make sure white is my background color, this time. So I'm just gonna hit the X key and we'll switch it to the background. And I want to get my polygonal lasso tool here. And I'm gonna start working with some of these white areas and making them white. So with like the ceiling and some of this trim and around the door here. So let's just do that real quick. All right, so once I have the ceiling area selected, I have an action here, feather selection and cut, which will just cut that area out, exposing the desaturated layer underneath, and it will feather that by 1 pixel so the line isn't too harsh. So I'm just going to play on that, and as you can see now the ceiling is nice and white, but it took out some of this chandelier, so we just have to paint that back in. So with my brush tool again, obviously a lot smaller, I'm just going to zoom in here and just paint the color back in some of these areas that it cut. Also, I want to make sure my flow is back up to 100%, and I'm going to bring my hardness back up to like 85 or so. Now when I paint on this, I can just paint the color back in. All right, so now we got the color back into the chandelier here, so that's good. Now let's just do some of this trim here around the door, and of course this over here, this other baseboard. So, and also this tabletop here a little bit. So we're gonna do those areas now. All All right, so now we have all our white areas looking clean. So now I'm just gonna merge these two layers together again by selecting them, and I'll go to merge layers, hit play on that. So finally, I just wanna deal with this window thing here. So I'm gonna take our window layer here, bring it up to the top, and I'm gonna go to add black layer mask action here that I have, and I'm gonna hit play. So that will hide that. And again, I'm just gonna cut these windows out here. All right, so I just gotta add these crossbars back in. So I'm gonna do that as I'm just gonna zoom in here. I'm gonna use my brush tool again. All right, so now we got these crossbars masked back in. So finally, I'm just going to select these two layers and hit merge down and save action I have here. And that'll bring it right back over to Lightroom, and we can finish this image off and see how close we are to the original HDR image. All right, so here we are back in Lightroom. Here's our edited image from Photoshop. So what I want to do here, I'm going to go up to my presets here. I have my interior HDR finishing preset, and I'm just going to click on that. So what that does, you can see here the difference. It just, you know, sweetens it up a little bit. That's what I also used on the other HDR, so this will be comparable. I might tweak this just a slight bit more, maybe bring the shadows up a tad bit. Otherwise, everything's the same with the other image. So let's see now how close we are. So this is the one we've been working on here, and this is the original. So again, this one is the one we've been working on, the single raw frame, and this is the bracketed image that I shot. This one is the bracketed image that I shot. All right, so here I have them loaded up in a comparison view. The image on the left is the bracketed HDR edit, and then the one on the right is the single raw frame edit. So let's compare these two. If we zoom in a little bit, as I said in the beginning, the raw, you could see how much more noise there is in it because we had to push those shadows so hard. So there's a lot more noise in this image. So yes, we have a much cleaner image with the brackets as far as noise goes because they were exposed properly in the camera instead of being pushed in editing so hard. You know, raw files, like I said, have a lot of data and you can push them pretty far, but they do have their limits. But overall, I mean, these are pretty darn close looking. Other than the noise, there's a slight color difference, and that might just be from how I edited this one compared to that one. I mean, obviously I didn't edit these exactly the same. We could, of course, try some noise reduction here. If we go down to noise reduction here and raise the luminance value. The only problem with doing this, of course, though, is that you're gonna be losing some detail. It's gonna be looking less sharp of an image. So, you know, there is a pitfall to doing this. That did clean it up a little bit and reduce the noise. It's still not as clean as the HDR. The HDR image to me definitely looks cleaner and sharper. It pops more. It's definitely a better looking image to me overall, quality wise. But could you get away with the single raw frame? I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, it's not that far off from this. It's definitely not as good in my opinion, but it isn't far off. What do you guys think of this? Definitely leave a comment down below. I'm definitely curious on your thoughts on what you think of these two images. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it insightful. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. It really helps my channel out, and I can't thank you enough. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other ways, please see the link down in the description below. Thanks again for watching this video, and I'll catch you again on the next one.